Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P3, Variant 2, February-March 2021. Let's get started. 20 students choose their favorite science subject. The results are shown in the bar chart. Work out how many more students choose biology than physics. In other words, we are to find the difference between the number of students who chose biology and the number of students who chose physics. The number of students who chose biology is 11 and the number of students who chose physics is 6. So 11 minus 6 is 5. Write down the fraction of students whose favorite science subject is chemistry. This fraction is equal to the number of students who chose chemistry, which is 3, divided by the total number of students, which is 20. One of the 20 students is picked at random. Write down the probability that this student did not choose biology. This probability is equal to the number of students who did not choose biology, which is 9, divided by the total number of students, which is 20. Only one of the averages, median, mode, and mean can be found for these results. Write down the average that can be found. Bar charts are used to represent qualitative data, as in this case. For qualitative data, the only meaningful average that can be found is the mode. Find this average for these results. The mode is the most recurring category, or the category with the highest frequency, and so the mode for the given data is biology. Explain why the range cannot be found. This is because we are dealing with qualitative data and there is no maximum and minimum value. The results are to be shown in a pie chart. Complete the table. We know the frequency, or the number of students who chose biology, is 11. So the sector angle would be 11 divided by the total number of students, which is 20, times 360 degrees, which is equal to 198 degrees. The number of students who chose chemistry is 3. So the sector angle would be 3 over 20 times 360 degrees, which is equal to 54 degrees. The number of students who chose physics is 6. So the sector angle would be 6 over 20 times 360 degrees, which is equal to 108 degrees. Complete the pie chart. Using a protractor, we can start by measuring the sector angle for physics, which is 108 degrees. Then we measure the sector angle for chemistry, which is 54 degrees. The remaining angle, which is 198 degrees, would be for biology. A family go on a skiing holiday to America. The hotel has 840 rooms. 735 rooms are occupied. Calculate the percentage of rooms that are occupied. This percentage would be equal to the number of rooms that are occupied, which is 735 divided by 840 times 100%. This gives us 87.5%. The temperature in the hotel is 21 degrees Celsius. The temperature in the hotel is 26.7 degrees Celsius, warmer than at the top of the mountain. The temperature at the top of the mountain is 3.2 degrees Celsius colder than at the bottom of the mountain. Work out the temperature at the bottom of the mountain. Based on this, we know that the temperature in the hotel, which is 21 degrees Celsius, is equal to the temperature at the top of the mountain plus 26.7 degrees Celsius. When we subtract 26.7 from both sides, we get the temperature at the top to be negative 5.7 degrees Celsius. Based on this, we know that the temperature at the top, which is negative 5.7 degrees Celsius, is equal to the temperature at the bottom of the mountain, minus 3.2 degrees Celsius. When we add 3.2 to both sides, we get the temperature at the bottom to be negative 2.5 degrees Celsius. There are 2 adults and 1 child in the family. They hire all their equipment. The child skis for 3 days and snowboards for 4 days. Both adults ski for 7 days. All 3 of them hire a helmet for 7 days. Work out the total cost of the equipment hire for the family. The total cost would be equal to the cost incurred by both adults, which is $128 times 2, plus $20.70 times 2, plus the cost incurred by the child, which is $47.60 plus $70.20 plus $16.70. When we type this into the calculator, we get $431.90. A ski lift, when full, takes 4,000 passengers per hour. This lift works for 10 hours a day. One day, this lift is 90% full for 3 hours and 75% full for 7 hours. Work out the number of passengers who take the lift that day. The number of passengers would be equal to the number of passengers the lift carried in 3 hours, which is 90% of 4,000 times 3, plus the number of passengers it carried in the remaining 7 hours, which is 75% of 4,000 times 7. When we type this into the calculator, we get 31,800. The family buy their lift passes before the holiday for a total of 51,400 rupees. In America, the passes cost a total of $684. The exchange rate is 1 rupee equals $0.0129. Show that the family save 1,620 rupees, correct to the nearest 10 rupees, by buying the passes before their holiday. First, we need to convert $684 into rupees. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we have, which is approximately equal to 53,023 rupees. So now, to get the amount the family saved, we subtract 51,400 rupees from 53,023 rupees. This gives us 1,623 rupees, which is approximately 1,620 rupees rounded to the nearest 10. The height h meters of the mountain is 2,642 meters, correct to the nearest meter. Complete this statement about the value of h. To correct the height to the nearest meter, we have 2,642 meters. Then we bring in plus and minus 1 meter divided by 2. The lower bound of the height would be 2,642 minus 1 over 2 meters, which is equal to 2,641.5 meters. And the upper bound of the height would be 2,642 plus 1 over 2 meters, which is equal to 2,642.5 meters. The diagram shows 3 triangles A, B, and C on a grid. Triangle A is shaded. Measure angle W. Using a protractor, when we measure angle W, we get 72 degrees. Explain why triangle B is congruent to triangle C. Triangles B and C are congruent because corresponding sides of both triangles are equal. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. When we look at both triangles A and B, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of 3 because each of the sides of the image, which is triangle B, is 3 times its corresponding sides in triangle A. This is a positive scale factor because both triangles have the same orientation. From here, all we need to do now is to find the center of enlargement. We can get this by connecting at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles. The intersection point of the lines is the center of enlargement, which in this case is -3, 4. And so the full description for this transformation would be enlargement by a scale factor of 3 about the center -3, 4. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle B onto triangle C. When we look at triangles B and C, we can tell straight away that this is a 180-degree rotation. So now we need to identify the center of rotation. For a 180-degree rotation, the way to determine the center of rotation is this. We draw a line to connect at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles B and C. The intersection point of the lines is the center of rotation. In this case, this point is the origin, and so the full description for the transformation would be rotation 180 degrees about the origin. On the grid, draw the image of shape A after a translation by the vector 7, -1. For this translation, the translation vector dictates that we move each of the vertices of triangle A 7 units to the right and 1 unit downwards. On the grid, the movement for point A has been shown. After repeating the same process for points B and C on the triangle as well, we are able to map out the translated image of triangle A. On the grid, draw the image of shape A after a reflection in the line y equals -1. So first, we draw the line of reflection, which is y equals -1. Then from here, we need to reflect the vertices of triangle A in the line y equals -1. So for point B on the triangle, since we move 4 units downwards to touch the line of reflection, we also need to move 4 units downwards from the line of reflection to pin the new position of point B. We need to repeat the same process for points A and C on the triangle as well. When we are done, we are able to map out the reflected image of triangle A. The scale drawing shows the positions of Kendra's house, K, and Latike's house, L, on a map. Jasminder's house, J, is on a bearing of 36 degrees from K and on a bearing of 284 degrees from L. Mark the position of J on the map. First, we measure an angle of 36 degrees from the north of K in the clockwise direction. Then we measure an angle of 284 degrees from the north of L in the clockwise direction. An easier way to mark this angle is to subtract 284 degrees from 360 degrees, which gives us 76 degrees. Then we measure this angle from the north of point L in the anti-clockwise direction. The intersection point of the two lines is the position of J. The actual distance between K and L is 9,600 meters. Complete the scale of the map. First, we use a ruler to measure the distance between K and L on the map, which gives us 12 centimeters. So now, if 12 centimeters represents an actual distance of 9,600 meters, then what does 1 centimeter on the map represent? This is what we are calling x. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to 800 meters. Kendra walks from K to L at a constant speed of 4.5 kilometers per hour. She leaves K at 10:15. Work out the time she arrives at L. First, we need to find the time Kendra takes to walk from K to L. Based on this formula, we see that the time duration for her journey would be equal to D, which is the distance she traveled, divided by V, which is her speed. The distance she covers from K to L is 9,600 meters, which we divide by 1,000 to convert to kilometers. Her speed has been given as 4.5 kilometers per hour. When we type this into the calculator, we get 2 over 15 hours. To convert 2 over 15 hours to minutes, we multiply 2 over 15 by 60, which gives us 8 minutes. Now we know the time duration is 2 hours 8 minutes. To get the time she arrives at L, we add 2 hours 8 minutes to her departure time from K, which is 10:15. Under the minute column, 15 plus 8 is 23, and under the hour column, 10 plus 2 is 12. The time she arrives at L is 12:23. Kendra and Latika leave Latika's house at 15 o'clock to go to the cinema. They walk for 20 minutes at a constant speed of 4.5 kilometers per hour. Work out the distance they walk. Based on this formula, we see that the distance they walk would be equal to V, which is their speed, times T, which is the time duration for their journey. Their speed has been given as 4.5 kilometers per hour and their time duration has been given as 20 minutes. We divide 20 by 60 to convert it to hours. When we type this into the calculator, we get 1.5 kilometers. After walking for 20 minutes, they then run a distance of 6 kilometers at a constant speed for 40 minutes. Draw their journey to the cinema on the travel graph. 20 minutes after 15 o'clock, which is at 15:20, they had covered a distance of 1.5 kilometers. 40 minutes after 15:20, which is at 16 o'clock, they had covered a total distance of 1.5 plus 6 kilometers, which is 7.5 kilometers. After plotting these points, we draw two straight lines to connect the points. Kendra and Latika leave the cinema at 18:05. They travel back to Latika's house in a taxi at a constant speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Complete the travel graph. Kendra and Latika stayed at the exact same spot, which is at the cinema, till 18:05. Now we need to find the time they got back to Latika's house and plot this point on the grid as well. First, let's find the time it took for them to get back to the house using the formula T equals distance over speed. From the previous question, we see that to get to the cinema, they traveled a total distance of 1.5 plus 6 kilometers, which is 7.5 kilometers. We've been given the speed for the journey as 30 kilometers per hour. This gives us 1 over 4 hours. To convert this to minutes, we multiply 1 over 4 by 60. This gives us 15 minutes. So now, to get the time they got back to the house, we add 15 minutes to 18:05. Under the minute column, 5 plus 15 is 20, and under the hour column, 18 plus 0 is 18. And so they got back to the house at 18:20. So we plot this point on the grid. Now we complete the travel graph by drawing two straight lines to connect the points. Complete the table of values for y equals negative x squared minus x plus 14. When we plug in x equals negative 5 into the equation, we get y equals negative 6. For x equals negative 4, we get y equals 2. For x equals -1, we get y equals 14. For x equals 0, we get y equals 14. For x equals 3, we get y equals 2. For x equals 4, we get y equals -6. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals -x squared minus x plus 14 for x is greater than and equal to -5 and less than and equal to 4. So on the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. Write down the equation of the line of symmetry of the graph. On the grid, we see that the equation for the line of symmetry is x equals -0.5. Find the coordinates of the highest point on the graph. From the graph, we see that the highest point has coordinates -0.5, 14.2. Use your graph to solve the equation -x squared minus x plus 14 equals -2. To solve this equation using the graph, we need to draw the line y equals -2 on the grid and find the x coordinate of its intersection point with the curve. On the grid, we've drawn the line y equals -2. We see that the x coordinates of its intersection point with the curve are -4.5 and 3.5. The diagram shows a point P, a shape S, and lines A and B on a 1 cm square grid. Line A is parallel to line B. Explain what parallel means. When two lines are parallel, they never meet or they have no meeting point. Write down the coordinates of point P. When we map point P onto the x-axis, we get the x-coordinate to be 5, and when we map it onto the y-axis, we get its y-coordinate to be 8. Write down the mathematical name for shape S. Shape S has opposite sides parallel, so it's a parallelogram. Work out the area of shape S. Here is the formula for the area of a parallelogram. The base B of the parallelogram is 5 centimeters and the height h is 3 centimeters. This gives us 15 centimeters squared. Find the gradient of line A. To get the gradient of line A, we pick 2 points on line A. By applying the gradient formula, we get the gradient to be 8 minus 6 over 5 minus 0, which is equal to 0.4. Write down the equation of line A. To get the equation of line A, we need to get the values of m and c of the line and plug in these values into y equals mx plus c. From the previous question, we found the gradient m to be 0.4. To get c, which is the y-intercept of the line, we pick the point on the y-axis through which the line passes, and that is 6. So we have y equals 0.4x plus 6. Prakash buys 45 flowers from a shop. Each bunch has 5 flowers. The price of one bunch of flowers is $2.68. Using the special offer, work out how much Prakash pays for the 45 flowers. If Prakash buys 45 flowers and we know that a bunch of flower contains 5 flowers, then it means he bought 45 over 5 bunches, which is 9 bunches of flowers. Due to the special offer, Prakash pays for only 6 bunches of flowers, so the total cost is equal to 6 times the unit cost of a bunch of flowers, which is $2.68. This gives us $16.08. 15 of the flowers are red. 18 of the flowers are orange. The rest of the flowers are yellow. Write down the ratio of the number of red flowers is to orange flowers is to yellow flowers. Give your answer in its simplest form. We are told the number of red flowers are 15. The number of orange flowers are 18. The remaining flowers are yellow. This means to get the number of yellow flowers, we subtract the sum of 15 plus 18 from 45, which gives us 12. The terms have a common factor of 3. So when we divide through by 3, we have 5 is to 6 is to 4, which cannot be simplified further. Prakash gives the 45 flowers to his family. Use this information to show that 5x minus 10 equals 45. We are told Prakash gives his grandmother x flowers, gives his mother x plus 8 flowers, gives his cousin x minus 6 flowers, and gives his sister 2 times x minus 6 flowers. When we add up all the flowers he gave out, they must add up to 45. When we expand the brackets, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. X plus x plus x plus 2x is 5x. 8 minus 6 minus 12 is negative 10. Solve the equation 5x minus 10 equals 45. When we add 10 to both sides of the equation, we have 5x equals 55. And when we divide both sides by 5, we have x equals 11. Find the number of flowers that Prakash gives to his cousin. In part CI, we saw that Prakash gave his cousin x minus 6 flowers. Now that we have the value of x to be 11, then we have 11 minus 6, which is equal to 5. A baker puts some cakes in the oven at 5:50 p.m. The cakes take 20 minutes to bake. Complete the clock diagram to show the time when the cakes are baked. To get the time when the cakes are baked, we add 20 minutes to 5:50 p.m. Under the minute column, 50 plus 20 is 70. 60 minutes is 1 hour. So we add 1 to the hour column and leave the remaining 10 minutes under the minute column. Under the hour column, 1 plus 5 is 6. So the time when the cakes are baked is 6:10 p.m. On the clock diagram, we draw the short hand to be on 6 and the long hand to be on 2. A recipe uses 550 grams of flour to make 8 cakes. Work out the amount of flour needed to make 360 cakes. Give your answer in kilograms. If 550 grams of flour is needed to make 8 cakes, then what is the amount of flour that will be needed to make 360 cakes? This is what we are calling x. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we have. Our final answer needs to be in kilograms, so we divide 550 by 1000 to convert it to kilograms. This gives us 24.75 kilograms. Work out which bag of flour is the best value. Show all your working. For bag A, if we divide 850 grams by 55 cents, we get 15.45 grams per cent. This means for every cent paid for bag A, we get 15.45 grams of flour. For bag B, we get 15.83 grams of flour for every cent paid. And for bag C, we get 15.63 grams of flour for every cent paid. Out of the 3 bags, the highest value is 15.83. So bag B offers the best value. 1 cake costs 24 cents to make. The baker sells each cake for 65 cents. Calculate the percentage profit the baker makes on each cake. The percentage profit she makes on each cake is equal to the profit she makes on each cake, which is 65 minus 24 cents, divided by the cost incurred in making a cake, which is 24 cents, times 100%. This gives us 171%, rounded to 3 significant figures. The baker asks some customers if they like lemon cake and if they like chocolate cake. The Venn diagram shows the results. Complete the statement. The number of members in the universal set E equals blank. When we count the number of elements in the universal set, we get 12. Work out the fraction of the customers who like lemon cake or chocolate cake, but not both. This is equal to the number of customers who like lemon cake or chocolate cake, but not both, which is 9, divided by the total number of customers, which is 12. This simplifies to 3 over 4. Use set notation to complete the statement. Jai Naira equals blank. Jai and Naira are elements of the region L intersection C. What does the Venn diagram show about Taj? Taj is outside sets L and C. This simply means Taj likes neither lemon cake nor chocolate cake. On the 1 cm square grid, draw one rectangle that has a perimeter of 22 centimeters and an area of 24 centimeters squared. Here is the formula for the area of a rectangle. We've been given the area to be 24 centimeters squared, so we can start finding the possible values for L and W by finding the numbers that multiply to give us 24. From these pairs of numbers, we need to find the pair that gives us the perimeter of the rectangle to be 22 centimeters. Here is the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. So 2 times 4 plus 2 times 6 gives us 20, which is out. 2 times 3 plus 2 times 8 gives us 22. This means the dimensions of the rectangle is 3 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Work out the value of x. Write down 2 geometrical properties needed to find x. Angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. So to get this angle, we subtract 298 degrees from 360 degrees, which is equal to 62 degrees. Angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So we have x plus 127 plus 94 plus 62 equals 360. When we make x the subject, we get 77 degrees. Draw a tangent to the circle at point P. The tangent is simply a straight line that touches point P of the circle. The exterior angle of a regular polygon is 24 degrees. Work out the number of sides of this polygon. Here is the formula for the exterior angle of a regular polygon. We've been given the exterior angle as 24 degrees. When we make n the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to 15. Calculate the value of x. To get x, we can apply SOHCAHTOA to triangle BCD. This gives us sine 41 degrees equals BD over x. When we make x the subject, this is what we have. We can find BD by applying the Pythagoras theorem to triangle ABD. This gives us AD squared equals AB squared plus BD squared. When we make BD the subject and plug in the values of AD and BD, this is what we have. When we plug this into the equation we have for x, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, we get 17.4 centimeters rounded to 3 significant figures. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.